But Joe still did not accept the Lord. And he talks to us all the time when that happens. About 2 years ago, Joe got caught in a grain auger, getting a grain, and it ripped his leg clean off. Joe was always a very active person. He's always out and about doing stuff. And if any of y'all know to do that, when you get where you can't go out like that, that's a devastating blow. Many years ago, I gave Joe one of these Bibles. And it wasn't me, the Lord just told me to hand it to him. He threw it up in the dash of his truck, and it sat there for years. And one day, Joe got so down out that he took his truck, and he went to the back of his field, and he was going to shoot himself. He said he couldn't handle it no more. Before he did it, he looked up there, and he seen this Bible. And he started reading this Bible. And now Joe knows the Lord. Joe was just one of many, many, many people that we talk to on a daily basis. And it's not just me. There's probably 250,000 Gideons worldwide, and they've been doing it. I actually took the spot to a man that was supposed to be here today. He's 81 years old. He's been a Gideon since 1950. Okay. He called me, asked me if I fill in for him. Absolutely. Anytime I can tell y'all what y'all have done, we haven't done it. Y'all done this. Okay, it's y'all's money, y'all's prayers that let us do this. The Gideons has been around since 1899. I don't know if many of y'all know that or not, but they're a pretty old group. And it all started by two men that shared a hotel room with each other that decided to split their devotional time with each other. And they wanted to do something to reach the lost. Being a Gideon is not for everybody. There's a lot of hard work. You don't get a lot of thanks. In fact, you get more cusses than you get thanks. But that's all right. It's all right. If you have a problem with people being lost, if that really affects you, maybe you want to talk to a Gideon. Maybe you want to be a part of one. Me, I was lost. I was a wretched sinner. I was on drugs. I was doing all kinds of stuff that I shouldn't have been doing. I know several people that go to this church. I don't see them in here, but I know several people that go to this church that knew me back then, and they knew how I was back then. The only thing that saved me was Jesus Christ. That's it. My dad is very big in the church. He is very big. He had beat it into my head ever since I was little. And a lot of people know this. They're head smart about the Lord. They know what the Bible says, but they don't know it here. It's very important that you know what's here. Okay, not just y'all, but for everybody. We pass lost people every day. It's very important that you know Jesus, but like I said in our Sunday school class, it's more important that Jesus knows you. And for him to know you, you have to hear the word. You can't know Jesus without knowing this. They're one and the same. You can hear about Jesus, but to truly know Jesus, you have to get into his word, and then you can know Jesus. These little Bibles right here, these are the most powerful. These are the ones that people see in the hotels and the hospitals and the stuff like that. These can reach about 3,000 people before we have to replace them. That's the possibility. These are the ones that I like. I like these little ones here. They come when people can stick them in their pocket. Your pastor said he carried one around for years. I'll tell you a story about these. There was a guy, his name was Francisco Gomez. And Francisco was a bad guy. He had killed 2 people. He had robbed, steal, everything. He was in jail one day, and we go to jails too, prisons, any of them. We go anywhere that they'll let us in. And I wasn't on this one, but I heard this one. That Francisco wanted to go where the Gideons were going to be at. Not to hear what they said, but because it was time for him to get out of his jail cell. It was a free time for him. He went there, and one of the Gideons noticed him in the back not saying anything. And he walked up to Francisco, and he asked him, he said, "Would you like a New Testament? Would you like me to talk to you about Jesus?" And Francisco blew off on him, cussed at him, fussed at him, and in just a minute, his anger got a hold of him, and he jumped on the Gideon that helped try to give him this Bible. Well, the guards came in and they got him off. But somewhere during the scuffle, that Gideon had took that Bible and shoved it in his coat pocket. Why he was getting beat. Yes, sir, he did. He needed it. Well, a little bit later, Francisco, they got him back to his cell, and he took his coat and just threw it up against the wall. And he heard a thud. He said, there was nothing in my coat. What was that thud? And it was the Bible. And he wouldn't read it. He wouldn't read it. And finally, boredom got him because they wouldn't let him out of his cell for nothing. And sometimes the Lord wants you to read his Bible. You ain't got a choice about it. You got to read it. We all know the story of Jonah. Lord, you'll do what the Lord wants you to do. Well, finally, out of boredom, he started reading the Bible. And he said he read that entire New Testament in 4 hours. I don't know if y'all know that. That's pretty hard to do. And he read it again and again and again. And finally, he realized that this Jesus wasn't somebody, just some guy that everybody was talking about, that he was the real Son of God. And he gave his life to the Lord in that prison cell. Well, just so happens, they came back and they looked at all his convictions, and they shortened his sentence by almost 17 years. He got out almost 2 years ago. Now he had committed murder. He should have never got out, I agree. But the Lord has bigger things for us. As a person, I don't think he should have got out. As a Christian, we have to forgive him. He's a pastor now in a prison. He is a pastor now. And that's all because one Gideon that was getting beat up passed one little word, one little Bible to him. This Bible is written in 109 different languages. I myself didn't even know there was 109 languages altogether, but there is. There is. We have an app on your phone that you can just look it right up, and it'll help you read the Bible. It'll read it for you. It has thundering effects and all that, and it's a really cool app. We put this stuff, like your pastor said a while ago, we put them in Bible. We put them in doctor's offices, hotels. I'm sure all of y'all have seen these in hotel rooms. Anybody that's ever stayed in a hotel, they usually got it. Here lately, this becoming a little harder to put them in there. They won't let you put them in there. But some places, they still will. In Myrtle Beach, we was going around, we was putting these Bibles out. We walked up to a woman. She was the manager of a little hotel. They had a little 2-story hotel they had on the strip down there, or the boulevard. And we asked her, can we put these in your hotel? And she said that she didn't own it, but she was the manager. And we said, well, you're the manager, can we do it? And she said, yeah. Well, as we were doing it, same brother of mine, Randall, he asked her, do you know the Lord? And she said no, that she was trying to be a witch. One of them Wiccan people, I know y'all have heard of them. Well, Randall told her that you don't have to do that, that you can be free. You don't have to do all that stuff that they want to do. You can be free. And that girl sat down. She said, you mean I can be free? I don't have to do all this. And he said, yes. And right there, that girl gave her life to the Bible, to the Lord, right there. That's just a few stories that's happening. This morning we talked about humility pretty much in the Sunday school class. A very good way to realize humility is when you go to other countries and little children come up and this is the only book that they have. And sometimes they'll split it in two. They'll take the book and they'll split it in two so both of them can have a piece of it. They learn how to read off this book. This is the only book that they have. When you go out there and they're holding their little hands out and this is all they want. They don't want no money from you. They don't want anything. They want the word of the Lord. These children have been looking for us. They look for us every year to come to them. And because of y'all, we're able to do that. So I thank y'all very much. Y'all ever seen these Bibles just thrown around? Just laid around anywhere? Like that, just people don't. Well, there was a nurse named Elizabeth. She had moved into a new house. And Elizabeth, she didn't know the Lord, didn't care about the Lord, busy living her life. I'm sure we all know people like that. I used to be like that. Did not care at all. Well, Elizabeth was cleaning out her new house, and in the attic, just so happens that a Gideon used to live there, that she bought the house from a Gideon. And we buy these by the boxes, big boxes of them. Well, he had left a box of them in the attic, and she didn't know what they was. She asked her friends about it, and none of them knew what they were. Finally, a guy at work had told her about what the Bible was and about who Jesus was, and that it didn't matter what color, creed, he was here to save everybody, that Jesus come to this world to save, not condemn. She gave her life to the Lord. A little bit later, she married that man that told her about Jesus. Now they have 5 children, and he is a pastor, or she is a pastor's wife in Texas. None of that would have happened if that Gideon wouldn't have forgot his Bibles sitting up there. Like the pastor said, Isaiah 55:11, that is one of our favorite verses in the Gideons. His word will not come back void, no matter what you do. I'll tell y'all another little story about that. I was in New York City one time. Every year they go to New York. They have a big New York blitz. There's Gideons from all over the world that go to New York, and we just pass out Bibles as fast as we can. Well, Mr. Glenn, he asked me to say this. This is the guy that was supposed to be here. This is one of his testimonies. He asked a woman for a Bible, that she want a Bible, and she utterly refused the Bible. I do not want it. He said, will you please just take it? And sometimes you have to beg them to take it, and sometimes they will not take them. But Mr. Glenn, he asked me, he said, will you please take this Bible? He said, if you don't do nothing else, set it on a counter somewhere so somebody else can get it. And she grabbed that Bible, and she threw it up in the air. Now that thing bothered Mr. Glenn, it would me too. But this is the word of our living Lord, right? And it deserves respect. Well, unbeknownst to Mr. Glenn and that woman, or any other Gideons that was on the ground, there was a man on the roof. There was a roofer that his wife had died about 2 months beforehand. All of his children lived across the country and wouldn't talk to him. He used to be an alcoholic. And he was all by himself. And he had been contemplating jumping off that roof and just ending it off. And he actually told the Lord to give me a sign. Tell me, if you want me to live, tell me. That was the same day that woman threw that Bible. Y'all will never guess where it landed. It landed on that roof. That man is a Gideon today, like that. He travels around. He still has that little Bible that he gave to. Y'all see this one's kind of wore out right there? That's because I carry it in my back pocket every day. There's no end to how far that the word can go, okay? And we can't do it alone. The money that y'all give the Gideons, we get 0% of that, okay? Being a Gideon, you make 0 money. In fact, it costs money. When we go to New York, when we go to Kenya, Mexico, wherever the Lord wants us to go, that comes out of our pocket, that we pay for it, okay? So I just want to let y'all know that if y'all feel the lead to donate to us, that it all goes to buy Bibles, every bit of it. Okay. And these small ones, that's about $1.50. Okay, you'll spend more on a Mountain Dew at the store than that. These are about $5. Okay, these will last about 5 or 6 years before they get wore out and we have to replace them. These, there's really no way for us to track how long they last, because they'll be in people's pockets. Some people's had them for 50 years, and some people they'll get destroyed in 5 days. There's really no way. Another way, in Texas, there was a man named Alejandro. Alejandro was a Gideon. I've actually met him one time. Alejandro, I don't know if any of y'all have ever been to Texas, but if you're of the Spanish influence, especially in the south of Texas, it's kind of a rough place to stay, okay? The police will pull you over for no reason. They will search you just because, to make sure you're not illegal immigrants and stuff like that. One night, Alejandro was coming back from a prayer meeting, and the policeman pulled him over. Didn't know why he pulled him over. Come to find out later on, it's because he was Spanish. The policeman wanted to search the car. Said that he believed that Alejandro was smuggling drugs across the border. As he searched the car, instead of finding drugs, he found a case of these. Cop didn't know what is this? Why do you have these? He flipped it all open looking for stuff. What is this? And Alejandro told him what it was. And as he told him, he said, do you know the Lord? And the policeman told him he did not know the Lord. And he started talking with him. In just a minute, the policeman said, I ain't got time for this. I got to go. And he left. And Alejandro went home. Well, about 3 days later, that same policeman pulled Alejandro over again for no reason. Had looked him out and found him and told him that he had time now that he needed to know about this. That is all he had thought about for 3 days was this. And right then and there, that policeman gave his life to the Lord on the side of the road. That altar call y'all done this morning, that's wonderful stuff. There's a lot of churches around here that don't do that anymore. I thank y'all so much for holding on to the old ways of doing stuff. The old ways are the right ways. You don't have to have an altar to get saved. You don't have to be in church to get saved. Okay? It's very good to it. I got saved. I was fishing at the Lumber River when the Lord saved me. Okay? It's amazing to see, and it's a privilege to see what this Bible can do. We talk about it every Sunday school class, every time we come to church, we talk about it. But when you get out there and you really see it in action, it is amazing. And you realize just how wretched of a sinner you are and how good of a God Jesus Christ is. Because by our standards, they're not good enough. They're not good enough. But Jesus, he's going to save everybody if he lets him. Let's say in Romans, Pastor hit right on it. If y'all want to know how to get saved, read Romans 10. That's a step-by-step book on how to get saved. Okay? Y'all see them little paper clips there? I don't know if y'all can see them or not. Most of those are in Romans. We have several ways that y'all can help. Okay? The very first way that we need y'all's help is prayer. That is the most important thing that we need is prayer. The Gideon's is a 24-hour-a-day, 7 days a week thing. As you were sleeping last night, there were planes taking off and landing full of Bibles, going to different places. Without y'all, we can't do that at all. All we are is an extension of y'all. That's it. If the churches stop helping us buy Bibles, we're going to have to close up shop. It ain't going to work. And that's all we really ask is for help for the Bibles. The Lord will provide everything else for us. He'll provide the money that pays the pilots to get it over there. He's done it for 100 years. He'll keep on doing it. But it's up to us as Christians to make sure that we pull a little bit out of our pocket, if able, to give a little bit to help them. And that's all these stories is. I'm telling you, most of these stories has happened within the last year or two. That's going on. I like to let people know what their money from last year has done. Another thing you do y'all have these? These are Gideon cards. Okay. If y'all don't have none, I will get y'all a case that holds them. And if y'all are out, I will put more in there. These cards are absolutely free. You can take them. They're good for graduations, if someone passed away. There's several different styles, just the style I grabbed this morning and stuck in here. Christmas, anytime you want to give anything, you can give this, and you can have the card, and you send the card to whoever you would like to send it to. But in return, you put a small donation in this envelope, and you don't even have to write the address. We done got all that filled out for you. You just stick it in there. And if you want to buy one Bible, if you want to buy 100 Bibles, we'll put their name in that Bible. So if someone's donated a Bible like this, you're liable to have a Bible with your name in it in China. There's no telling. These are great for graduation. My daughter graduated. She wasn't so happy I got her one of them, but maybe one day she will. Those are a big important thing. These are 24 hours a day. Any time that you see these, you can have them. They're free. At any church you want to see them, you can have them. Another way y'all can do it, there's things called Friends of the Gideons. This is kind of a new thing that they've came out with. Friends of the Gideons, they allow you to participate in certain things. It's pretty much they'll let you pal around with the Gideons without taking the commitment of being a Gideon, okay? Because being a Gideon is a commitment. You can ask my wife, I've had many late night phone calls that's woke us up out of our sleep just for prayer, just for prayer. They might ask you to go somewhere that you really don't want to go. And if you pray about it and the Lord wants you to go, you got to go. Not everyone is willing to do that. When I told her that I wanted to be a Gideon, I was asked to be a Gideon, she was not excited at all. She was not happy about it. But as times went on, she's kind of got with it. Or at least I think she has. Let me talk about the ladies of the Gideons for a minute. Without them, we couldn't do it. Okay? They do stuff that we can't do. Women's battered shelters, places that it's not proper for a group of men to go into. These ladies will go into it. They will get right in there with them, and they will share the word, just like we will. Another thing they do, they are our #1 prayer partners. Okay? I love my Gideon brothers, but if I have a problem, the first one I'm going to is her. And then we're going to pray about it, and then we'll go about it. And that's just how that works. Every other Gideon's like that. A successful Gideon, most of them are auxiliary members. We got to have them. That's just it. We thank the Lord for them all the time. They actually go around to churches and pray. I don't know if they've been in this church or not yet, but they'll go to your parking lots, and you won't even know they'll be there, and they'll pray for y'all. And what they're doing is they're not praying for y'all to know Jesus, but they're praying for y'all that are Christians to reach out and touch the lost, because that is our goal. The Great Commission is that we go out and spread the word everywhere. The lost is what, if you are saved and sanctified, you are a Christian, it is now your job to reach the lost. Okay, it is now your job to spread the word. Okay, not everyone wants to put boots on the ground per se, but some people, sometimes we just need prayer. Sometimes we might need a driver to drive a van full of stuff. That's where the Friends of Gideons come in at, right there. They can also get these little Bibles. They can order these. Okay, now it won't have that Gideon symbol on it, but it's the same Bible. Okay, so they can pass them out to their friends or whoever they want to. They can come to our rallies that we have. We have big rallies that have pastors from all over come to it. They can come to those. When y'all see us distributing out, the big one around here is the bog off. When y'all see us distributing them out like that, if they want to help, they can help. They can do that. But they don't have to take the commitment to be a member of the International Gideons. It costs absolutely zero money to become Friends of a Gideon. If any of y'all would like to do that, just let me know afterwards and we'll help you out the best we can. Another thing that we desperately need right now, and I'm a member of the Loris Camp. I am the youngest member of the Loris Camp. Most of the members are 70 years and older. We need younger men to help join. Not everybody can do it. There's a qualification thing to go through. Believe me, if I can qualify, y'all can qualify. It's not that hard to qualify. If you love the Lord, and like I tell people, if you can be a member of a Southern Baptist church, you can be a Gideon. It's pretty much the same thing. That's it. Like the pastor was saying, Romans, I can't speak enough about Romans 10. That's one of the books that changed my life. I don't know if y'all know a man named Randall Gent or not. He explained Romans 10 to me, and he just opened it up. Yeah, sometimes you'll read over stuff and you just won't know. That's another job of a Gideon. It's not just to hand these Bibles out, but to make sure that the people know what's in this, what's it mean. Sure, all y'all know in the back, that's the plan of salvation right there. Right there, it's already wrote down for you. In the front, this is a big thing that people like. In the front, it'll have help in there. If you're having a problem with anger, anything, you go through there and it'll tell you where to look at in the Bible to find the verses that you need to read at, or where this certain book or this certain chapter is talking about a certain thing. This Bible will help you do that. I've heard it said a lot that these are Gideon Bibles. That is untrue. Okay? This is God's Word. This is the Holy Bible. That little symbol right there, all that means is that Gideon placed that Bible there. These Bibles are King James Version Bibles. Okay? I've heard that a lot, and I just want to make that clear to everybody. They're not our Bibles. They're the Lord's Bibles. I cannot thank y'all enough for what y'all do. I really can't. I wish I could show y'all. I wish I had a video I could show y'all, but videos won't do it justice at all. And it's not all fun and games. Sometimes we get cussed at and spit on, but that's okay. That's okay. And I have been asked, why do you become a Gideon? In case any of y'all thinking about joining. Gideons has absolutely zero to do with your salvation. Okay? Your salvation is set through Jesus Christ. That is it. Most of the Gideons that I know, the reason they are Gideons, because they realize what Jesus Christ has done for them. They actually grasp what they've done for him. And they know that no matter what we do, we will never be able to repay that. But at least we can do is do what he told us to do. And wherever Jesus is anywhere in this whole world, so no matter where we go, he will be there with us. And none of that would be possible without y'all. Every dollar helps. Every penny, everything helps. I would like to thank y'all for letting me be up here. I can't say it enough. I can thank y'all all day long. We need y'all's help. So thank y'all. Thank you, Pastor.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.